5 signs she's into you. Most guys never notice them. And if you miss these, you might be walking away from a woman who was already halfway yours. Here's the truth. A lot of men, especially older men, think women are direct when they like you. They expect some big signal, a bold move, clear words. But younger women, they're subtle. They flirt in code. They show desire in ways that feel almost invisible unless you know what to look for. And most guys don't. Instead, they chase women who are lukewarm while ignoring the ones who are giving off quiet, glowing green lights. Maybe you've been there. You walked away thinking she wasn't interested, but she actually spent the entire night waiting for you to notice the way she leaned in or how her laugh lingered longer than usual. This video is your decoder ring. We're not talking about obvious signs. We're talking about the hidden ones. The ones that make her heart race but keep her pride intact. The ones that say, "I want you," without ever saying a word. These signs come straight from female psychology. And if you catch them early, you'll never miss your moment again. Let's get into it. Number 1, she shows up without a reason. Up without a reason. One of the biggest signs a woman is into you, especially a younger woman, is when she starts appearing around you without a real reason. Not with a bold confession, not with a romantic gesture. She just starts showing up. Often where you are, often more than once, and often without a clear excuse. Most guys miss this because they expect female interest to look like how men show interest. Direct, verbal, undeniable. But female attraction works differently. It's more like a dance full of subtle cues, quiet moves, and plausible deniability. Let me paint you a picture. Brian, 44, lives in San Diego. He recently got out of a long-term relationship and started working at a real estate firm. There's a younger colleague, Emily, 27, who always seems to swing by his desk. Sometimes she asks about the CRM software. Sometimes she just makes a comment about the weather, but the pattern is clear. She keeps finding small, seemingly innocent reasons to talk to him. One Thursday, she accidentally left her water bottle next to his laptop, and when he brought it back, she smiled and said, "Maybe I just wanted to see you again." That's the kind of moment most guys overlook or dismiss. They think she's just being nice, but no, she's creating moments. And that's a whole different thing. Here's what's really happening beneath the surface. When a woman likes you, she wants proximity without having to put herself at risk. So instead of pursuing you directly, she creates overlap. She shows up where you are. She finds a reason to bump into you. She creates moments where connection is possible without making the first move herself. Why? Because it protects her ego. If you don't respond, she can pretend it was nothing. But if you do respond, she can keep escalating one random interaction at a time. This isn't manipulation. It's self-P protection wrapped in interest. Stoic philosophy reminds us you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. The moment she appears near you is an outside event. Your job is not to overanalyze, chase, or second-guess us. Your job is to be present enough to notice it and grounded enough to respond from strength. That means no awkward jokes about her stalking you. No flattered, over-the-top reactions. Just calm presence, eye contact, and maybe a subtle escalation if the vibe is there. You want her to feel safe being around you. You want her to associate your presence with calm, centered energy, because the more safe and seen she feels, the more often she'll come back. This isn't about being clever, it's about being aware. So here's the key takeaway. If a woman consistently shows up in your space, starts conversations that don't need to happen, or finds small reasons to be near you, don't ignore it. Instead, ask yourself, is this coincidence or is this her way of saying, "I'm open" without ever saying a word? And if you've experienced this before, if a woman kept reappearing in your orbit seemingly without reason, let me know in the comments. Type. I've seen this. In the next part, we'll talk about how her body will tell you everything, even when her mouth doesn't. Stay with me. Number 2, her body breaks the 2. Her body breaks the rules. Rules. You ever notice how someone's words say one thing, but their body says something completely different? That's where the truth lives. When a woman's into you, especially when she's trying to hide it, her body starts betraying her. She'll sit across from you, arms crossed like she's keeping things professional, but her feet pointed straight at you, her torso angled your way, her eyes dipping to your mouth every few minutes. She doesn't plan these things. They're not strategic. They're biological. When a woman is attracted to a man, her subconscious starts to take over. Her nervous system reacts before she even understands why. This is where most men miss the moment. They listen to her words, but they ignore her body language. And here's the secret. When it comes to attraction, her body is always ahead of her words. You may be in a conversation that seems innocent, work-related, casual, maybe even a little cold on the surface, but then you notice it. She leans in closer than necessary. She mirrors your posture. She brushes her hair back and exposes her neck. These are not random movements. They are subtle indicators of comfort and attraction. Now, she might not even know she's doing it, and she'll likely never admit it if you call her out. That's why you need to observe, not react. Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." But it's not just about listening to words, it's about reading the unspoken. The body always speaks first. Most men talk themselves out of believing what they see. They second guess it. They tell themselves it's just politeness or coincidence. But attraction is primal, and the body doesn't lie. So what do you do when her body starts breaking the rules? You stay calm. You don't push or pounce. You lean back, you stay grounded, and you let her body continue the conversation. Here's what that looks like. She leans in. You don't move forward. You hold your space, keep strong eye contact, and let the tension build. She touches your arm by accident. You don't flinch or call it out. You let the moment hang in the air just long enough for her to feel its weight. The more you stay in your frame, the more her body will give away, and the more obvious it becomes without a single word exchanged. But the second you rush it, the second you get excited and start assuming, you kill the tension. And attraction lives in that tension. Remember, the body wants what the mind can't say. And if you learn to read those signals, you'll never again ask, "Does she like me?" You'll already know. Now, if you've seen this in real life, if a woman acted cool on the surface, but her body told a whole different story, drop it in the comments. Say, I felt that. In the next part, we're going even deeper into these subconscious signals because when she mirrors you when you're not looking, that's a whole new level. Stay sharp. 3. She mirrors you when you're not looking. Number 3, she mirrors you when you're not looking. You know what's more powerful than a compliment imitation. When a woman likes you, she subconsciously starts to mirror you. Your gestures, your energy, even your pace of speaking or blinking. But here's the kicker. She does it when she thinks you're not watching. Most guys never catch this. They're too focused on what they're doing. But if you zoom out for a second and just observe, you might see her subtly copying the way you rest your hand on your knee or how you lean back in your chair. It's not mockery, it's chemistry. Let me give you a real-world example. There's a guy named Mark, 51, who lives in Austin. Recently divorced, he started taking salsa classes, mostly to meet people and get out of the house. At the studio, there's a younger woman, Jessica, 31. During the breaks, they'd chat casually, nothing deep, just friendly banter. But Mark started noticing something. Every time he sipped his water, 2 seconds later, she'd take a sip. When he crossed his legs, she'd shift and do the same. He leaned back, she leaned back. Even her smile started to match his timing. At first, he thought it was a coincidence, but it kept happening. Subtle, syncopated, like a dance they didn't choreograph. That's not random, that's biology. Mirroring is one of the oldest signs of rapport in human psychology. It's not something we're trained to do. It's something we instinctively do when we feel safe, attracted, and connected. Especially in romantic situations, she mirrors you because she wants to feel closer. She wants you to feel closer without her having to say it. Now, here's the twist. The mirroring happens best when she doesn't feel watched. So if you stare at her looking for it, she'll become self-conscious and stop. But if you relax, detach a bit, and just let the moment breathe, her unconscious mind will speak louder than words. So what do you do with that? You don't call it out. You don't say, "Hey, you just copied me." That breaks the spell. Instead, you let it confirm what you already sense. You hold your frame, you stay grounded, and you allow the dance to continue. Stoic wisdom fits right here. Marcus Aurelius said, "Look within. Within is the fountain of good, and it will ever bubble up if thou wilt ever dig. You don't need to rush to action every time you feel attraction. Sometimes the best move is stillness. Let her come into sync with your rhythm. Let her move toward your energy without force. Mark did exactly that. He didn't pounce. He just smiled, stayed relaxed, and let her mirroring grow. Eventually, she asked him if he wanted to grab a drink after class, and that's the power of presence. So next time you're talking to a woman and things feel normal, watch her, but not too hard. Relax into the moment and see if she begins to echo your energy. If you've ever noticed a woman start copying you without realizing it, drop a comment. Say, I've seen that. Next up, we're going to explore what happens when she starts finding ways to accidentally touch you. It's not by mistake. It's by instinct. Stick with me. Number 4, she finds excuses to touch. 4. She finds excuses to touch. Let's be real. Touch is never just touch, especially when it's from a woman who's into you. She won't say, I like you. She might not even flirt in the obvious ways, but she'll find reasons, little excuses to touch you. And most men miss it because they assume it's nothing. It's not nothing. If she brushes her hand against yours and says, oh, sorry, she's not sorry. If she puts her hand on your shoulder when she laughs or tugs on your sleeve when making a point, that's not random. That's primal. Touch is one of the oldest forms of human communication. It bypasses language. It bypasses logic. It hits directly to the nervous system. And when a woman initiates touch, especially accidental touch, it's her testing safety, testing chemistry, and most of all, testing you. See, women know the rules. They know the social boundaries. So when she crosses into your space, it's intentional, even if it's subtle. But what throws most men off is the lightness of it. It feels so casual, so harmless that you're left thinking, did that mean anything? Yes, it did, but it only continues if you handle it right. If you get jumpy, react with too much enthusiasm, or call it out, she'll retreat. But if you stay grounded, if you accept the touch with calm energy and keep the moment flowing, you pass the test. And once she feels safe doing it, once she'll do it again and again until there's no confusion left. Now, here's where Stoicism comes in. Seneca wrote, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. That applies perfectly here. Most guys let their overthinking ruin the moment. They feel the touch, then spiral into, what does this mean? Should I do something? Is she playing me? Instead, just be. Let the touch happen. Don't read too much into it. Don't assume it means marriage or nothing at all. Be present, be calm. Let her feel the strength of your stillness. And here's something subtle but crucial. Your response teaches her whether or not you're ready. If you freeze up or act needy, she'll second guess her attraction. But if you stay in your masculine center, her attraction grows organically. That's what women crave. Not just attention, but grounded presence. Not a guy who jumps at every touch, but one who understands the language behind it. So next time it happens, the arm touch, the playful shove, the innocent brush of her hand across your back, don't flinch. Don't overplay it. Let it be what it is, a signal, a green light. And your job is to notice it without needing to chase it. If you've ever had a moment where you thought, wait, was that on purpose? Go ahead, comment below, say, I felt that. And if you want the full breakdown of body language, attraction signals, and how to navigate them with stoic calm, join as a channel member. You'll get access to deeper content, exclusive videos, and tactical guides we don't share publicly because real mastery doesn't happen on the surface. It happens behind closed doors with the men serious enough to level up. So, if that's you, become a member today. Now in the next part, we're going to decode something even more subtle. The way she plays with time just to be around you. Let's go deeper. Number 5, she stays 5. She stays longer than she needs to. Longer than she needs to. There's this moment every man has experienced, but few recognize for what it truly islanded. You're wrapping up a conversation, you're at the end of the coffee, or the bar tab's been paid, or the event's winding down, and yet she lingers. Not because there's anything left to do, not because there's a practical reason to stick around, but because she wants to stay in your presence. This isn't random. When a woman stays longer than she needs to, especially when she has other things to do, it means she values your energy over her schedule. Let's bring this to life. Brian, 47, divorced 5 years recently, re-entered the dating world after a long break. He met a woman, Rachel, 35, at a networking event. They hit it off over small talk, then a little deeper. Nothing flirty, nothing crazy. The event ended at 8, but Rachel was still standing there at 830, then 8:45. Brian kept thinking, should I wrap this up? He was trying to be respectful, but what he didn't realize is Rachel had already made her choice. She was waiting for him to notice that her time was now his invitation. This happens all the time, and most men miss it. You see, attraction in women often isn't about the grand gestures. It's about presence. It's about attention. And it's about time. Time is currency. And when a woman gives it to you freely, especially when she has other places to be, that's a loud whisper. I'm not done with you yet. What stops most guys from reading this correctly is that they overthink the situation. They're stuck in their heads asking, is she being polite? Or, am I reading too much into this? But as Epictetus said, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. In moments like this, don't speak to fill the space. Listen to what the moment is telling you. Her body is still, her feet aren't pointing toward the exit. Her voice is relaxed, her smile lingers, and her questions keep coming about you. That's not obligation. That's interest. If a woman didn't want to be there, trust me, she'd be gone. The real move here isn't to jump on it or rush to escalate, it's to match her energy. Stay grounded. Keep the moment warm. Let her comfort in your presence deepen, because the longer she stays, the more she invests emotionally without even realizing it. And here's the deeper truth. Women crave connection they choose, not the one forced on them. When she chooses to stay, that's more seductive than any line you could say. So what should you do next time this happens? Hold the space. Don't force it. Don't ask if she wants to leave. Don't break the energy by checking your phone or looking at the time. Stay with her. Be still. Be present. Because in that quiet space, her attraction grows. And if you've ever had a woman stick around long after she should have left, go ahead. Share it. Comment she stayed. In the next part, we're going to look at one of the most misunderstood attraction signals. When she starts reflecting you without even knowing it, stay tuned. Number 6, her eyes linger, then look. 6, her eyes linger, then look away. Away. There's a moment that happens fast but says more than words ever could. You catch her looking at you, but instead of holding your gaze, she looks away. It's quick. It's subtle, but if you were paying attention, her eyes told the whole story. See, most guys either miss this completely or misread it. They think if she looks away, she's not interested. But that's not how feminine attraction works. When a woman holds your gaze for just a second too long, then suddenly looks away, she's revealing 2 things at once. 1, she's into you. 2, she doesn't want you to know that she's into you. At least not yet. This is what we'd call a soft exposure. It's her subconscious reaching out before her conscious mind catches up. She's feeling more than she's thinking. And that's the level where true desire lives. Stoic philosophy teaches us to see things as they are, not as we wish them to be. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth." And the truth is, a woman's glance isn't just visual, it's emotional. She's scanning your presence, testing how it feels to be near you. And when her gaze lingers, that's her nervous system lighting up. But here's where most men mess it up. They chase the moment. They take her glance as an invitation to push forward, to break the silence, to crack a joke, to make a move. Instead of letting her curiosity breathe, they trample it. The more grounded response. You let her look. You don't react. You keep your center. Because in that small flickering glance, she's saying, I see you. She just doesn't want to be seen seeing you. It's vulnerable. It's a dance. And your job isn't to break the rhythm. It's to hold the space. There's something incredibly magnetic about a man who notices but doesn't rush. He doesn't need confirmation. He doesn't need validation. He just observes, acknowledges, and moves with calm strength. That's how trust begins. Not with declarations, but with restraint. You're not trying to catch her in the act of liking you. You're just staying open, aware, and poised. Her glance is the start of 1,000 micro decisions. If you meet it with pressure, she closes. If you meet it with presence, she softens. And it happens everywhere. In the grocery store, at work, on the street, in a quiet room full of noise, women speak with their eyes. But only to men who know how to read silence. This is where your emotional control comes in one of the core teachings of Stoicism. Not every signal needs a response. Not every moment needs to be seized. Sometimes the most seductive thing you can do is nothing at all. So, next time you feel that glance, don't stare her down. Don't smirk. Don't overplay it. Just breathe. Hold your frame. Stay present. Let her be the one who wonders, did he see me? Did he feel that too? Because when you do that, she won't just look at you again. She'll wait for you to look back. Want to see if other men noticed this before? Drop a comment. I felt that. In the next part, we'll explore the body language that gives her away even when she doesn't say a word. Stay with me. Number 7, she plays dumb just to engage. There's a subtle 7. She plays dumb just to engage. Game some women play, and it confuses the hell out of most men. You're having a conversation. She's intelligent. You know she knows what you're talking about, but then she pretends she doesn't get it. She asks questions that seem too basic. She acts confused about something simple, and you find yourself leaning in, explaining more what just happened. She's not actually confused. She's creating an opening. This tactic isn't about intellect. It's about intimacy. It's about lowering the stakes, softening the dynamic, and giving you a reason to talk more, explain more, connect more. Let me give you a real-world example. Doug is 42. He met Ashley, 29, through mutual friends. He's successful, sharp, well-read, and he's been diving deep into Stoic philosophy over the past year to ground himself after a tough divorce. Ashley is bright, like graduated top of her class, bright. But on their first few dates, she kept asking Doug really basic questions. Stuff like, what's a Roth IRA again? Or, how do you know when a car needs new brakes? Doug, being the steady and helpful guy, he has explained it all in detail. He thought she was a little naive, maybe inexperienced, but something didn't sit right. Later, over drinks, she casually referenced a book on investing one he hadn't even read. That's when it clicked she knew more than she let on. Why did she play dumb simple? Because if she showed up with all the answers, he'd have no role to step into, no masculine space to occupy, no reason to lead. So she offered him a role to play, not as a trick, but as a test. Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. But sometimes the person doing the listening is the one in control." Ashley used her questions to draw Doug in, to feel him out, to see if he'd become arrogant or remain grounded, to see if he'd mansplain or actually connect. When a younger woman does this, she's not insulting your intelligence. She's inviting your leadership. She's curious about how you carry knowledge, not just what you know. She's looking for calm authority, not overbearing ego. It's not about proving yourself. It's about revealing yourself one confident, unhurried word at a time. Here's the trap, though. A lot of guys fall into performance mode. They start talking too much, trying to impress, turning the conversation into a lecture. That kills the moment. She doesn't want a professor. She wants a man who's solid, who can answer a question without needing applause, who can say, "You already know this," with a smile that says, "I see what you're doing." That's presence. That's masculine poise. That's what draws her closer. So the next time she plays a little dumb, don't get annoyed. Don't get cocky. Don't get too helpful. Instead, check in with your energy. Are you leading or are you performing? Are you connecting or are you over-explaining? Are you giving her a moment to be curious or are you crowding it with facts? Sometimes attraction isn't sparked by what you say, but by what you withhold. By the tension of knowing and not needing to prove it. By the power of saying just enough. Want to share your experience? Leave a quick comment below. I've seen this. We're almost at the final sign. In the next part, we'll talk about what it really means when she stays in your space long after the moment has passed. Stay with me. Number 8, she gets curious about 8. She gets curious about other women. You bring up another woman and her energy shifts. Maybe it's a co-worker you casually mention. Maybe it's someone who commented on your post. Or maybe you didn't bring anyone up at all, but she still manages to ask, "So, do you date a lot? Or is that girl close with you?" She's not just making conversation. She's running a scan. When a woman's attraction begins to build something, subtle kicks in curiosity mixed with competition. It's not always loud. It doesn't always look like jealousy, but it's there. This behavior might sound immature, but it's wired into our biology. Just like men subconsciously assess youth and beauty, women subconsciously assess competition. They want to know, if I want him, who else might want him too? The Stoics weren't exactly dating coaches, but they understood human behavior at its core. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Observe how often even the things we most value lose their charm when we are no longer alone in valuing them." That works both ways. Sometimes a man becomes more attractive because other women notice him. That validation doesn't make him needy, it makes him visible. Here's where most men mess this up. They chase the curiosity. They try to trigger jealousy, force it. Talk about other women too much, hoping to spark a reaction. Big mistake. You're not here to create drama. You're here to lead with calm presence. When she gets curious about other women, don't panic. Don't brag. And don't hide it either. If she asks about someone, answer honestly, but without needing to justify or perform. Let her sit in that uncertainty a little. Not in a manipulative way, but in a grounded, masculine way that says, I know my value, and I don't need to explain it to everyone. Because when you stay calm, she starts thinking, who is he really? Why do other women like him? What am I missing if I don't lean in? This is where attraction deepens. Not just emotionally, but psychologically. She starts placing value on your presence, not because you're playing games, but because you're playing by your own rules. Stoicism teaches us not to overreact. Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. So when her curiosity shows up, treat it like a compliment. Don't push it away. Don't chase it. Just let it land. Let her feel the gravity of your calm. If she's asking about other women, she's already feeling the pull. She's already wondering how much space she holds in your life. That question alone tells you she's invested. But remember, her curiosity isn't an invitation to perform. It's an invitation to remain centered. This moment is where your energy speaks louder than your words. The way you hold yourself, the calm in your tone, the absence of defensiveness, it all adds up. She's not testing your history. She's testing your frame. Can you be honest without being eager? Can you be calm without being cold? Can you acknowledge others without shrinking her importance? That's what she's watching. And if you pass that unspoken test, something powerful happens. She starts to lean in, not out of insecurity, but out of admiration, because she's not just curious about the other women anymore. She's curious about you. Want to share if you've seen this in action? Drop a comment. I felt that. Next, we'll get into one of the most overlooked but powerful signs when she stays in your space without needing a reason. Don't miss it. Number 9, her voice changes. 9, her voice changes around you. Around you, there's something primal about the voice. It's not just sound, it's vibration. And a woman's voice, when she's into you, changes in ways most men never catch. She softens it, slows it down. Sometimes she even raises the pitch just slightly. Not in a fake way, but in a natural subconscious adjustment. Her tone gets warmer, more playful, maybe a little breathier. She might laugh more often or draw out certain syllables, like she's stretching time just to stay in the moment with you. Let's look at an example. There's a guy named Jason, 48, divorced smart guy with a calm, confident presence. He starts seeing Megan, 29, a yoga instructor. At first, their conversations are pretty standard surface level polite. But after their third meeting, something shifts. He tells a joke, not even a great one, and she giggles. Not a short, polite laugh, a lingering one. Her voice drops a little when she answers him like she's letting her guard down without even realizing it. Jason didn't notice it at first, but others did. His coworker said, "Man, she sounds like she's flirting every time she says your name." This is where most guys miss the mark. They focus on what women say, but not how they say it. Why does this matter? Because attraction shows up in the body before it ever becomes a conscious decision. A woman's voice reacts to how she feels in your presence. When she's comfortable, when she's intrigued, when she wants more, her vocal tone becomes an invitation. Now, some men might overanalyze this. Don't. This isn't about decoding every pitch or word like a detective. It's about awareness. It's about feeling the shift. And remember, this doesn't just happen when she's excited. It also happens when she's nervous. Sometimes when she's unsure but intrigued, her voice may crack slightly. She may talk faster than catch herself and slow down. These are all signs that something is stirring. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Her voice becomes dyed with the color of her emotion. She's not crafting sentences to impress you. She's feeling her way through the interaction, and her voice is giving her away. Here's another subtle cue. She calls your name more often, not in a formal way, but intimately, like a verbal touch. Women who are not interested often avoid using your name. They keep things generic, but if she likes you, your name will slip into sentences where it doesn't even need to be. That's desire playing dress up as casual conversation. Now, if you're wondering, what should I do when I notice this? Simple. Don't break the spell. Let her voice lead. Match her tone, not mimic, but mirror the energy. If she's calm, slow your delivery. If she's teasing, lean into it. That's how chemistry deepens. That's how polarity forms. And hey, I want to hear from you. Have you ever picked up on this change in someone's voice? Or maybe now you're realizing it happened and you missed it. Drop it in the comments. You can keep it short. I missed it. Let the guys in the comments know they're not the only ones waking up to this. Ready for more? In the next part, we're diving into something even more subtle. A woman's curiosity about your other options. Let's keep going. Number 10, she fights the urge to like you. Sometimes the 10. She fights the urge to like you. Clearest sign she wants you is the way she tries to resist you. It sounds backward, right? Why would someone fight feelings they actually want? But here's the thing. When a woman feels an intense attraction, especially toward a man who doesn't fit her expected type or challenges her emotionally, her first instinct isn't always to lean in. Sometimes it's to pull away. She'll test herself. You might see her act hot and cold, flirty one day, distant the next, engaged in deep conversation, then later acting like you barely exist. Don't be fooled. This isn't rejection. It's a war inside her. One part of her is screaming, "I like this man." The other part whispers, "This isn't supposed to happen." This happens often with younger women attracted to older men. The age difference triggers something deeper. Questions about maturity control judgment from others. So instead of surrendering, she pushes against the feeling to see if it breaks. What's Wild Island? This is a highly emotional state, and emotional states don't last long. If you react to her, pull back with fear, chasing her, needing her, questioning her, you just confirmed her doubts. But if you remain grounded, calm, unshaken, you give her space to resolve it herself, and most importantly, you become more attractive in the process. Here's what most men get wrong. They think her hesitation is a dead end. It's not. It's just a pause, a checkpoint in her emotional journey where she asks, "Is this guy who I think he islanded, or am I just caught in the moment?" And the more you stay true to your frame, the more she finds the answer herself. There's a stoic idea that fits perfectly here. Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. You don't punish her for her confusion. You don't argue or beg for clarity. You hold steady. You respect her process while standing firm in your own. Let me break it down differently. She's not trying to hurt you. She's trying to protect herself from liking someone who might not be safe, might not be real, might not stay. So, when she fights the urge to like you, don't panic. Don't interpret it as dislike. See it for what it is. Emotional tension that only exists when something is real. And that tension, it builds attraction far more than instant validation ever could. Let me give you an example. Jake, 51, started seeing Lauren, 31. They had electric chemistry, deep talks, strong eye contact, even a few vulnerable moments. But then she suddenly stopped texting. Days passed, then a week. Most men would freak out, but Jake didn't. He didn't chase. He didn't send a sad message or demand an explanation. He kept moving, centered in his life. 2 weeks later, she messaged him, "Sorry for going quiet. I was honestly trying not to fall for you." Boom. That's the moment most guys miss because they rush in too early or fall apart when things aren't crystal clear. The deeper truth is this. A woman fighting the urge to like you is really fighting the urge to surrender. And that only happens when you've touched something real inside her. Let her fight it. Let her wrestle. Your job isn't to fix her emotions. Your job is to stay solid in yours. Because that stillness, that inner calm, that's the kind of presence that a woman doesn't just fall for. She respects it, she remembers it, and eventually she chooses it. So if she's acting distant, but you felt the spark before, remember this. She's not pushing you away. She's checking if you'll collapse under pressure or if you'll remain the kind of man she can actually fall for. And if you do, she won't fight it much longer. That's it, gentlemen. You now understand the 10 conclusion. Hidden signals women send when attraction is simmering beneath the surface signals that most men completely miss. But not you. Not anymore. You're not guessing. You're observing. You're leading. And as the Stoics remind us, if you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your own judgment about it. So next time she lingers, touches mirrors, or pulls away, don't overthink it. Don't chase it. Just watch. Stay still. Let her come to you. And if you're ready to go deeper to master your frame, read attraction like a language, and move through relationships like a man who truly knows himself, join the membership. Inside, we break down Stoic strategies for modern dating, frame control, emotional mastery, and how to keep desire burning long-term. You'll also get access to exclusive videos, Q&A sessions, and tactical tools you won't find on the main channel. So click join below, become a member today, and take this to the next level. And don't forget, subscribe to the channel so you never miss what we drop next. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.